Someone is completely fixated on you, and it is because of the way you chose to show up. You need to pay attention to this before the moment passes. This message did not appear in your life by accident. And no, this is not just a dramatic way to start talking to you. There is a real reason you felt drawn to these words. Something inside you slowed down long enough to read them. There is a reason your focus lingered here even for a moment. It is because someone, a real person in your life, someone you know well or once knew, is struggling deeply right now. They are having a hard time because of you. Not because you chase them, not because you beg them for answers, closure, or promises, but because you stopped doing one thing they assumed you would always do. That single choice changed everything. There was a moment, quiet and almost unnoticeable, when you decided to choose yourself. It may not have been loud or dramatic. There was no big announcement, no long explanation, no detailed reasoning, just a small, quiet shift. A space appeared where there was once constant effort. Peace replaced tension, and a pause replaced endless explanations. You did not leave because you were angry. You did not step away to hurt or punish them. You simply stopped putting yourself last, and the instant you did, something inside them cracked open. They never expected this. They believed you would always be there, always patient, always kind, always waiting, always hoping they would eventually choose you. They assumed your love was endless and guaranteed. When someone assumes this, they stop protecting it. They stop prioritizing it. They delay caring for it. They treat it like something they can always return to whenever it is convenient. But then something changed. You stopped proving your worth. You stopped explaining your pain. You stopped bending yourself to hold the connection together. And that quiet, that absence of effort, became deafening to them. This is where obsession often begins. People rarely fall deeply in love when they feel total control. They fall when they realize they may have lost you for good. When comfort disappears and the safety net they assumed was permanent suddenly vanishes right now, whether they admit it or not. They are replaying every moment they shared with you. Your laughter, your patience, the way you genuinely cared without keeping score, the way you stayed even when leaving would have been easier, the way you truly listened and the way you saw their hidden sides that no one else ever noticed. And the hardest part for them is this: they did not recognize your value while they had your energy. They only felt it when it stopped flowing toward them. They may act fine, post happy pictures, or pretend nothing changed, but they feel the emptiness left behind. You were not just someone who liked them. You were someone who truly saw them. And losing that leaves a gap they cannot fill. They do not only miss the relationship, they miss who they were when you were there. The version of themselves that existed when they felt fully seen and understood. You did something extremely rare. You stepped back without bitterness. You did not harden your heart, seek revenge, become cold, or try to make them jealous. You simply maintained your dignity, holding your head high. That kind of self-respect sends a clear and magnetic message without a single word. It communicates to the world that you know your worth, even if others do not see it yet. And when someone realizes they fail to appreciate a person who understands their own value, it shakes them to the core. Their mind begins a quiet and repetitive questioning late at night, and in the moments they try to avoid. Why did I not choose them when I could have? Why did I assume they would? Wait forever. Why does everything feel so empty now? They scroll through old messages, replay old conversations, wonder if you are with someone else, and debate whether it is too late to make things right. They may even type your name and delete it, because reaching out forces them to face truths they ignored for too long. You represented the real thing, and they were not ready. Your absence has made their hidden feelings impossible to ignore. All the regrets, all the emotions they pushed down, all the truths they avoided are surfacing now because you are no longer there to distract them. But here is the thing most people misunderstand. Being obsessed with someone does not mean they suddenly know how to love properly. Feelings alone do not create change. Love that is unhealed can still delay action, fear commitment, or avoid responsibility. That is why this is not a time for you to run back to them. This is about understanding what you awakened inside them. You showed them love without pressure, steadiness without control, safety without manipulation. And now, without you doing anything at all, they feel the full weight of your absence. That weight is heavier than any argument, farewell, or explanation. Silence forces reflection. Distance clarifies truth. And space completes lessons that words cannot finish. Through your presence, you showed what mattered. And now, through your absence, they finally understand what they lost. If you return too soon, if you break your silence or rescue them from their discomfort, they may never grow. This gap is teaching them lessons your love tried to convey, but could not force. Growth happens only in the space you created by stepping back. This is not punishment. It is positioning yourself correctly. The right person does not only value you after almost losing you. They see your worth while you are standing right there. They choose you because they recognize you, not because fear or loneliness drives them. So why did you receive this message now? It is because your heart is soft, and soft hearts often confuse love with responsibility for others. You sense their regret. You feel their energy, perhaps even dream of them. That does not mean returning is the right thing to do. It simply confirms that the connection was real. But not all real connections are meant to continue. Some are meant to conclude. They resisted growth while you were there. Now, without you to soften their path, they must grow on their own. If they do come back, let it be because they are truly ready to choose you. Not out of fear, loneliness, or longing, but because they are prepared to love fully, show up, and commit without delay. Anything less simply repeats the same cycle in a new form. And if they never return, know this: you were never hard to love. They were simply not ready for what you brought into their life. And someone else, someone who matches your timing, your growth, and your depth, will recognize you immediately. There will be no confusion, no waiting, and no almost moments. Here is the truth, for right now. The reason someone is completely captivated by you is not because you chased them. It is because you stopped chasing and remembered your own worth. That is where your power lies. It is quiet, steady, and unshakable. Do not give it away lightly. If this connects with you, stay focused because there is more to understand, and it goes deeper than most people ever explain. When you stepped back, you did not just leave their life. You removed the mirror you were holding for them. You reflected parts of themselves they had never fully seen or valued before. Your attention made them feel significant. Your patience created a sense of safety. Your consistency gave them solid ground. And when all of that quietly disappeared, it did not just feel like losing you. It felt like losing balance, like a part of themselves had vanished. That is why their response may seem confusing or exaggerated. At first they told themselves stories. You must be busy, you probably needed space, you would be back soon. They distracted themselves with work, friends, and entertainment. But distraction only works on surface-level things. What you gave them was deep, rooted firmly, and those roots do not vanish just because they stop noticing. So confusion set in. They began noticing your absence in the smallest moments, in the middle of a calm day, right before sleep, or in quiet pauses between messages. Your absence began to create a subtle sound, not loud but impossible to ignore. Small, persistent discomfort is far harder to escape than obvious pain. They wondered why no one else felt like you, why laughter with others felt fleeting, why attention from others did not soothe the way yours did. They began comparing without even realizing it. Their body missed the safety you provided without effort. They are not missing you the way someone misses a film or an object. They are missing how you helped them feel at ease. Your presence managed their emotions without effort. You were a steady force, and when you left, even quietly, their internal balance collapsed. That collapse is what feels like obsession. They replay conversations not for romance, but to find the point where control slipped away from them. And the truth that hurts the most is this: you did not leave because you stopped caring. You left because you began caring for yourself. That realization strikes their ego. If you had left in anger, they could blame the argument. If you had left dramatically, they could blame your emotions. But you left calmly, with dignity, which forced them to face an uncomfortable truth. You do not need them to survive. Not. Hin frustrates someone more than watching a person they did not value thriving without them. Then they start bargaining inside their own minds. They consider reaching out not because they are ready, but because they are curious. They want relief without responsibility, comfort without growth. This is where your strength becomes essential. Respond too quickly or too warmly, and you reinforce the old pattern. They can still reach you without changing anything. But when you remain steady, when you do not rush, something shifts in them. They are left to sit with themselves, a place most people deeply dislike being. They begin to see their own mistakes, how they waited too long, how they assumed someone would wait forever, how they mistook your presence for unconditional availability. These are not pleasant thoughts. They are internal battles, and this is where real change begins. You might feel sudden memories or unexpected thoughts of them come up. This is not random. When a bond is genuine, breaking it creates a subtle but lasting echo. That echo does not mean you should return. It signals that repair is happening on both sides. Healing does not always mean reunion. It means becoming whole. You are becoming someone who chooses dignity over extending yourself for love. They are realizing that love is not a pause and return game. Many people ruin it for themselves by assuming that caring about the other person means they are obliged to fix everything. You already did your part. Your honesty and presence were the contribution you could give. The rest of the journey is theirs alone. This space is quiet, uncertain, but necessary. You did not create this fixation through manipulation or games. You simply stopped investing energy where it was not being returned. They feel the void. They understand now that your love is not infinite, not a given. That is why you may feel both stoned, wrong and soft at the same time. Strong because you are not chasing. Soft because you are not building walls of anger. You are simply being yourself, which is neither weak nor cruel. It is balanced and healthy. Even if they never return, this change has already transformed you. You will never over-explain yourself just to be heard. You will never give up your needs for someone else's comfort. You will never again confuse effort with love. That is the true victory. From now on, you will attract people who see your value immediately. People who act without waiting for a demonstration of worth. They choose you while you are present, not after absence teaches them a lesson. Stay on your path. Do not worry about outcomes. Your absence has created space in your heart where worry and constant anticipation used to live. That space may feel strange, even a little scary at first. Silence feels odd when you are used to noise, but this silence is restoration. At first, your mind still thinks of them out of habit. You imagine what they are doing, feel the pull toward them, but not out of weakness. Real bonds take time to fade. The difference now is that you are no longer hurting yourself to erase the feeling. That shift changes everything. For the first time, the bond is maintained not by your effort alone, but by truth. Distance and quiet are not inactivity. They are powerful acts of self-respect. You are no longer looking for answers from someone unwilling to give them. You are no longer carrying the weight of keeping a connection alive on your own. That energy is felt, and they sense it. The old dynamic is finished. They must now face themselves without your presence, softening the impact. That is not an easy place to be. When someone cannot access your kindness whenever they want, they are forced to acknowledge what they were taking. They miss your stability. You were a resting place for them. Without you, they imagine what-if situations. These thoughts are not clever. They are driven by loss. Losing access is the fastest way to teach someone the value of what they had. They miss being the version of themselves that existed when they were with you. You were naturally part of their life, and when you left, the foundation did not crumble immediately, but it began to tremble. Time slows for them. Days feel heavy. For you, time flows clearly. You are not breaking, but you are not cold either. You are simply present. Some people in your position question themselves, wondering if they were too harsh or if they should check in. But ask yourself honestly, did you leave to punish or to protect yourself? You stepped away because staying would have made you smaller. Love should never make you smaller. You removed yourself from a place where your affection was being taken for granted. That was not a mistake. It was wisdom. By stepping back, you did not slam any doors. You simply showed that access to you is not guaranteed. If growth happens on their side, they will come back. If not, you are protected from doing all the work alone. True victory is quiet, not always celebratory. Sometimes it is simply showing up for yourself. It is okay to grieve the future you imagined, but do not let that sadness distort the truth of what actually happened. You gave your best and then stopped when it became too much. That is called having a boundary. Boundaries reveal who genuinely cares and who only appreciated that you were easy to reach. This is happening right now, and you do not need to fix it. You may feel doubts because you are a kind person. You may miss them because the bond was real. But awareness does not mean action is required. You are not responsible for managing their feelings. Your body is learning that love does not have to be stressful. Once you understand this fully, it cannot be unlearned. Even if they return unchanged, you cannot play the old game anymore. That is the essence of growth. If things feel unsettled right now, it is because you are between who you were and who you are becoming. That in-between space is doing important work. Just stay present with it. A deeper understanding is on its way. You will reach a place where things settle quietly, not with a dramatic event, but with a calm feeling that needs no proof. You will stop questioning their feelings. Stop searching for signs, and stop waiting because you are solid within yourself. You accept that what you shared mattered and was real, but it had its limits. You were enough, yet the timing was simply not right. That acceptance brings freedom. Freedom is a quiet exhale. Yet for them, this is the hardest part. They sense that you are no longer waiting. They notice you letting go, not in anger, but in clarity. You are open to what is right for you, not just what is familiar. They understand that you did not leave to teach a lesson, but a lesson came anyway. Now it is their turn to choose the kind of person they want to become. Their choices no longer define your path. You are not shaped by them. You are defined by yourself. You act out of self-respect, not a need to be wanted. You listen to your own peace. You are evaluating whether a love meets your standards, not whether you measure up for it. This feeling of being both sad for what is gone and relieved that the worry is gone is completely natural. You gave and you grew. If they return, they will be unmistakably changed, not through words alone, but through a new feeling that comes through clearly. If that does not happen, you will not bend your own rules because the old hunger is gone. You have stopped reaching for what gives nothing back. You have finally understood that you are the prize. Someone is accused on you right now because you stood firm. This shift is real. Even if it is unseen, a deeper process is unfolding. When you stop giving your energy away freely, you left a vacuum in their life. You were the stabilizing force. Without you holding the connection together, the structure began to lean. They are realizing that their comfort relied on your sacrifice. This is when the power of your absence truly carries weight. You are not being cold. You are being honest. Your love is a gift, not something anyone is automatically entitled to. They are now in deep reflection. What started as a small worry has become a constant thought for them. They check their phone hoping to see your name. They revisit places you once shared together and the air feels different there now. This is not a game. It is the reality of genuine loss. People often do not realize the value of what they had until it is completely gone. That emptiness speaks louder than any argument ever could. They see that they let a rare person slip away while they were too focused on themselves. Your value has not changed because they failed to recognize it. A diamond remains a diamond even when covered in dust. You simply chose to stop cleaning it for them. You walked away carrying your light with you. They sit in the dark, feeling where warmth once was. They now understand that you brought peace, safety, and meaning into their life. This realization is what drives the obsession. They fear they may never feel that kind of light again. While they are looking backward, you are looking forward and growing. This is the beauty of the process. You are learning to be whole without seeking approval from anyone. The love you gave so freely is now yours to keep. Filling your own cup makes you more magnetic. And now you only attract those who can truly handle your depth. You wait for someone who sees your worth away without needing time or distance to teach them. If you feel a pull to reach out to them, remember why you stepped back in the first place. Growth happens quietly, not by repeating old patterns. Let the silence do its work. If someone truly belongs in your life, they will meet you where you are now, not where you used to be. They must rise to your level of self-respect. If they cannot do that, then they were only ever meant to be a chapter, not the whole story. Stay grounded in your peace and your power. Things are arranging themselves in your favor. You are choosing yourself every single day. A real and meaningful shift is happening in how you see the world around you. The weight you carried for them is lifting. The energy you poured into them is now returning to your own life. You sleep better, think more clearly, and find joy on your own. True independence is being born inside you. On their side, confusion is becoming a hard truth. They see that you were more than just a part of their life. You were a foundation. They notice that no one else can offer the patience or depth that you gave. That contrast creates a quiet panic inside them. They recognize that your love was not ordinary, it was rare, and they were not ready to receive it properly. This is when the small attempts to reach you begin to appear. Liking old photos, posting things they know you will notice, asking about you through shared friends. These are tests, not genuine apologies. They are looking for cracks in your resolve. Responding to these small gestures teaches them that your self-respect is cheap and that growth is not necessary if they can win you back with minimal effort. You are not here to reward half-hearted attempts. You are here to receive full and genuine love, the kind that does not need distance to teach someone your value, the kind that recognizes what it has while it still has the kind that shows up without being asked and stays without being begged. That is what you deserve, and that is exactly what is coming for you when the right person arrives. Hold your ground. Stay soft, but stay strong. Your peace is worth more than their panic. Your growth is worth more than their regret, and the life waiting ahead of you is worth far more than anything you left behind.